What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raised.
More than 100 TV shows got canceled every single year. So getting in trouble is fairly easy. Just one wrong plot twist, fans aren't as hyped up about your show, and you're out of the game. This is exactly what happened to the ones on this list. So without further ado, here are the 10 insane plot twists that ruined these shows. Let's dive right into it, shall we? Number 10. Ted reveals the death of their mom. How I Met Your Mother. There's no question about it. How I Met Your Mother was, and still is, one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. It had original jokes, the actors were nearly perfect, and the storyline, well, that's what we're here to talk about. You see, we loved all of Ted's narrated stories throughout the 9 seasons, but there's this one little detail that we've had a problem with. You see, we didn't really like the fact that Ted didn't tell us anything about the infamous mother until the very last season of the show. Now, we loved all the teasers that led up to it, but hey, they could have stopped the teasing somewhere around season 5. And if that wasn't enough, they managed to kill off Ted's wife in the very last episode of the season. We know there were some major teasers along the way, but still, this only made fans furious after the long wait to see what Ted and his wife finally meet. When your entire story builds up to the end moment, you should actually make that ending worth the viewer's while.
You might want to see this, Ted. Naked pictures. That's not Janet. Who now?
Number 9. GLEN'S alive. The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead has been going strong for about 10 seasons now, and it's one of the most popular TV shows out there. But killing off fan favorites is one of their specialties, and none hit them harder than the time we thought that Glenn had actually been eaten by zombies. And they even removed him from the cast, from the credits, and made you think that this guy is an actual goner. But little did we know, they never wanted him dead. In the first episode of Season 7, they showed us how Steven Yeun, aka Glenn, managed to smash that like button if you haven't done so already. But no, what they actually showed us was how he got out with his head from that zombie frenzy. Instead of becoming zombie food, he managed to slip under the dumpster and wait for the zombie army to go away. Even though he was close to dying as he could get, the last drop of water is what kept him alive. But then Negan decided his fate in the 7th season, so yeah, too much ado for nothing.
Thank you.
Number 8. Castiel becomes God. Supernatural. Some people have said that Supernatural has been one of the greatest fantasy science fiction and mythological series that you could ever get to watch. But not everyone agrees with this. You see, some people think that the showrunners have taken the show way beyond the boundaries of normal. Despite it having 15 seasons so far, some of the fans couldn't watch it a minute longer after the season 6 finale. This is when they saw Castiel become God. Now we get that the Winchester brothers can fight and even defeat demons, monsters, supernatural beings, and everything in between, but winning a fight against the creator of all things, the savior of saviors, and the most powerful being in all existence, well, that was a big stretch, even for them. Number 7. The Gossip Girl blog. Gossip Girl. Just like How I Met Your Mother, Gossip Girl built their fame on one simple secret. Who the hell was Gossip Girl? And when you really think about it, building up that much anticipation for a show can only end poorly for its showrunners. That's what happened here when it was revealed that the girl who started the Gossip Girl blog was actually a guy. And a guy who was a dead weight on the show. A guy who the blog talked about as the cause of numerous scandals throughout the show. For some, it was amazing, but for others, this just didn't make any sense. None whatsoever. Why would a guy start a gossip blog? And let these two shows be a lesson for future showrunners. Don't build up the ending too damn much. You will never meet the fans' expectations. Number 6. Marlena gets possessed. Days of Our Lives. If you thought that introducing God and defeating him in a TV show was far-fetched, then this will make the hair on the back of your neck stand straight up. Even though this is not one of the modern shows, it's still one of the absolute epic daytime soap operas of all time. It's been running for 55 years straight, and it has almost 14,000 episodes. 14 freaking thousand. And we get it. Soap operas have some crazy storylines and plot twists, but none can even come close to that of Marlena getting possessed. When your soap opera starts incorporating the occult, you know it's in big trouble. This show not only turned one of its characters into a demonically possessed human being bent on revenge with laser eyes, the ability to fly, and eject a stream of acidic vomit from its mouth. Now, that's what you call fantasy. Needless to say, losing fans was the least of their problems. Number 5. The Heartless Mother, Disenchantment. Surrounded by a ton of hype, Matt Groening's Disenchantment was one of the highly anticipated shows of 2018, and with previous animated shows including The Simpsons and Futurama. This was supposed to be Matt's third masterpiece, but it had some problems with the storyline. Even though it included lovable characters like King Zog, Elfo, and Lucy, this made fans like the show that much more. But you see, the entire medieval theme with goofy characters didn't seem to fit perfectly into the narrative Matt wanted, especially not when he introduced the heartless mother of Bean, who is actually behind all of the dark mystery of the heroine's story. It seems like this show failed at connecting the goofy and satirical characters with the gloomy background and backstory. After this, the loss of fans was inevitable. Number 4. The Gargoyle King, Riverdale. Ah, Riverdale. The show that managed to become famous for having weird storylines walking on the edge of bizarre. This was the case with the Gargoyle King. Why was he created? Why wasn't Chick just another murdered with a mask? Why did Chick have to wear that bizarre costume with the branches and the creepy mask? This character only raised more questions than it answered, and we saw that many fans shared our opinion that this was a character that was exaggerated for the sake of exaggeration. Number 3. Elena knocked into deep sleep, The Vampire Diaries. I just didn't feel like they needed to keep prolonging it if the main character, the one the show was literally centered around, died. It just became a pile of hot garbage, said Rachel May, one of the fans of the show. And you know what? We agree. The Vampire Diaries is the show that almost revolved around Elena. When she got knocked into a deep sleep, the foundations of the show were shaken. The lead of the show was gone. That meant bye-bye love triangle, and it also meant bye-bye for Catherine. She also served as Damon's moral compass, and all of the characters on the show missed her dearly. To shake up the foundations like they did, the showrunners needed to save some dirty and lovable character that could have filled the void that Elena left. Otherwise, this spelled disaster. Number 2. Dany's Mad Queen arc, Game of Thrones. They called it the greatest show in the history of television, and HBO backed them up 100%. George R.R. Martin's books were turned into one of the most epic TV shows of all time. But the ending, that's where some loyal fans thought showrunners David Benioff and Dan Weiss messed up. We all understood that Dany became pretty much the female version of Hitler in the last episode of Game of Thrones, and Jon Snow was right for killing her. But would someone please explain to us how in the world do you become mad after only 30 seconds of looking at the city? That's what angered a lot of fans. We don't mind that they killed Dany, we just thought that her mental problems developed in the last 30 minutes of the show, which is why some fans have chucked it aside like yesterday's news. Number 1. The Farm That Ended with a Spaceship, Riverdale. If you read any list with some of the craziest plot twists, then you're pretty much guaranteed to find Riverdale on there. Even though they have a ton, here is the craziest one of them all. Of course, we're going to be talking about The Farm. You see, we knew that this quote-unquote farm had been established and founded by Edgar Evernever, and it was a cultist organization that took in vulnerable teens and harvested their organs. How they managed fit Edgar building a spaceship, which he would use to fly away from there, is beyond us, and it's one of the plot twists that almost ruined the show. And since season 5 is on the way, we'll have to say the future looks good.
The farm is a front. Kevin Fangs Edgar took their kidneys. There's a refrigerator filled to the brim with human organs. The farm...
And on that note, we end this video. But hey, did any of these insane plot twists ruin the show for you? You can tell us in the comment section below. If you'd like more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.